These bizarre animal kingdom occurrences may seem like urban legends, but they were all true and left real scientists perplexed. Number 1. Exploding toads in Germany. Toads frequently inflate themselves to make themselves appear larger to predators, although they don't frequently burst. Except that thousands of frogs disintegrated during a few days in Hamburg, Germany in April of 2005, occasionally scattering tiny toad fragments up to a meter away. Berlin veterinarian Dr. Franz Muchesmann proposed the following explanation for the toad's allegedly spontaneous explosions. Parts of Hamburg had recently been occupied by a group of crows who had taken a fancy to toad liver. Before the toads could react, the crows would swoop down, bury their heads inside them, and steal their livers. To frighten the crows away, the toads would puff themselves up naturally. But because of the holes the crows created in their skin, the pressure would force the toad's interiors to the outside, causing it to explode into bits. Number 2. Globsters. Huge globsters, or chunks of unexplained flesh, wash ashore all over the planet. They frequently resemble species that are totally undiscovered by science. They have been seen on beaches all across the world during the past century and can weigh up to several tons. What then are they? They are frequently originally thought to be enormous squids and other uncommon or non-existent aquatic creatures, but researchers have discovered that this isn't necessarily the case. Every globster discovered so far has been positively identified as the remains of an ordinary mammal, usually a whale, before it washes back out to sea or is otherwise tampered with. For instance, the skin of a sperm whale was later identified as a globster found in Chile in 2003. Because dead creatures in the ocean just float, anything left over from predators and natural decomposition can be trapped in a strong tide and wash up on dry land, grossing us all out. Number 3. Mike the Headless Chicken. Farmer Lloyd Olson slaughtered one of his many hens in 1945 to provide dinner for his family. Strangely, the chicken didn't die after being severed from its head. The headless chicken, eventually given the name Mike, persisted in roaming the property and fiercely resisted being prepared as the Olsons' dinner. By inserting an eyedropper into Mike's neck hole, the Olsons realized that they could still feed and hydrate Mike. They then took the chicken on the road as Mike the Headless Chicken to perform for audiences. How did Mike manage to stay alive? Simply by chance, as it happens. Mike was studied by researchers at the University of Utah, who discovered that Olson just missed hitting Mike's brainstem, which allowed him to keep moving and walking even after being severed from his head. Sadly, Mike passed away because his family forgot his eyedropper and couldn't intervene as he started to choke on a kernel of corn. Number 4. Eyeless Fish. A few years ago, there were numerous reports in the press concerning large-scale animal deaths, particularly ones involving birds. Nearly all of them had perfectly reasonable explanations, such as pyrotechnics frightening birds into flying into trees and buildings, but a handful remained mostly unexplained. On the Coromandel Peninsula in New Zealand in the early days of 2011, thousands of dead snapper, many of them without eyes, washed ashore. The occurrence was looked over by wildlife authorities, but no official explanation was ever provided. According to early reports, it might have been intentional. Nearly 2 years to the day after the first occurrence, the same thing happened again at the same beach. Thousands of fish appeared all of a sudden, their bodies adorned with strange wounds. Authorities concluded that a damaged net was probably being drawn by an unauthorized fishing vessel this time, although they did not say how or if it was connected to the other fatalities. Number 5. The Malawi Terror Beast. A mysterious beast known as the Terror Beast terrorized villagers in Malawi's Dowa area in 2003, killing 3 and injuring 16 more. The beast tore off limbs from its victims and brutally dismembered the dead. Since most animals only attack for food or self-defense, this behavior seemed incredibly strange. It was described as a huge dog breed by the people. A similar animal also caused 20 injuries and 5 fatalities the year prior. Authorities shot and killed that animal, which they later identified as a rabbit hyena, But the victims of the initial attack said the animal was too enormous to have actually been a hyena and that it wasn't the one who attacked them. However, no trace of the terror beast, possibly a raving hyena, was ever made. Number 6. The Florida Skunk Ape. Residents of Campbell County, Florida, started seeing a big ape-like creature and discovering dead cats all over their communities around the year 2000. Some speculated that it might be the fabled skunk ape, an animal that resembles Bigfoot. When a woman who wishes to remain anonymous sent the authorities 2 images of the creature, things became really bizarre. Cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman became fascinated in the story and started to collect media articles, copies of the letter, and images sent by the unidentified woman. After a while, the skunk ape vanished, and the images were never positively recognized. Although he and the cryptozoological community don't buy it, Coleman has a pretty compelling argument on his website. The skunk ape is seen next to a typical orangutan in a comparative image made by Tony Schoonahan, a biologist with the Canadian Wildlife Service. Unsurprisingly, Animal Control was already investigating a missing orangutan. The manner in which an orangutan ended itself on the loose in Campbell County is just as mysterious as anything else. Number 7. Ghost Shark. Scientists discovered this recently hatched juvenile ghost shark off the South Island of New Zealand in February of 2022, and it rapidly gained notoriety due to its peculiar appearance. These elusive species, more often known as chimeras, are rarely seen and are the subject of scant scientific study. Their young, who were only found for the first time in 2002, are even less well known. Despite their name, fish species known as ghost sharks have a skeleton formed of cartilage rather than bone and do not belong to the shark family. For life to survive at depth, a low-density skeleton, like cartilage, is essential since it won't break down under greater pressure. However, they do deposit egg capsules, commonly referred to as mermaid purses, on the floor, just like sharks do. The egg capsule shields the developing embryo, which survives on the yolk until it's time to hatch. What do you think about this? Do you also have any knowledge of animals that make you uncomfortable? Please tell us in the comment section below. If you like the video, do give us a thumbs up, share the video, and subscribe to our channel. We keep coming up with interesting videos like this, so make sure you hit the bell icon below to never miss anything from us.